Hey there, I'm Jama, and over the past few years, I've become very interested in onomatology, the study of names. I've never really liked my name until I researched the meaning of it. My name means paradigm shifter, and I'd like to shift your paradigm by shining a light on onomatology and how it can potentially help you find your purpose, help you communicate better with others, or even both. In each episode, I ask someone 8 basic questions regarding their first name. So sit back, relax, and try to shift your paradigm with this next episode. All right, so in today's episode, I'm excited about this one because this is a very unique name, and he's also in a very unique part of the country. So, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me on today.
Yeah. If you want to go ahead and state your first legal name and where you're located.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Jerdon, and I am located in Nicaragua at the moment, in Managua.
Awesome. What brought you in that area of the world?
It's a great story. So I had a coworker for many years that we uh, had been talking about buying property in Nicaragua, and right around COVID, right when COVID hit, we felt like it was the right time based off of property values. So actually, during COVID, in 2021, we ended up coming to Nicaragua and buying a farm out in
Okay.
Niquinomo. Like I was telling you, if we were doing this podcast later in the week, I might not have the best reception. But, he spent a lot of time. He served a Mormon mission in Nicaragua and ended up marrying a Nicaraguan and had been telling me, oh man, it's such a beautiful country. And, uh, I loved yoga and I love yoga. And I was always thinking to myself, it'd be so cool to have a retreat or some sort of property far away where I could do something cool.
Yeah.
So after a lot of years talking about it, we decided to finally make it happen. And what now I'm 4.5 years into this journey.
Oh, wow.
And
So you're American. Where are you like born and raised?
yeah, so I'm born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah,
Okay.
and still there like half the time. Or I'm not quite sure right now. I'm a little bit back and forth. I think recently I made the decision since I do digital work remotely, I am really just going to focus more on the farm and see if I can make that work. So I'll be back in the United States every once in a while, every few weeks or every few months, I would say. And how long I'll be there, I'm not sure.
Nice.
So yeah, so now I've sort of like Nicaragua's adopted me. It's
Hmm.
definitely a lot different than the United States, and I'm always so grateful to be back in the United States.
Yeah. That's really cool. Well, I love that. I like when people change up their life and take risks and do adventurous things. That's really neat.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and your name is very interesting. And you spell it Jerdon,
Correct. Like Jerdon.
Jerdon. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever met anybody else with your first name?
No, I haven't met anybody else with my first name. Now, I've always been curious and I've Googled if people have my name or looked it up on white pages or whatever. And I think
Mhm.
there's a dozen or so people in the United States. I think the search results say 14.
Okay. Wow.
Um, I Instagram my name every once in a while, and
Yeah.
there are actually other people with my name. So it does exist,
Okay.
but I've never met anybody with my name, and nobody I've ever met has met anybody with my name.
Yeah. I like it. That's very cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's like a standard name, but it also seems unique at the same time because like there's Jordan and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
It's different.
it rolls. It's a really common filling name because
Yeah.
of Jordan, but then you never really quite met anybody with that name. So
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
yeah, it's just common enough not to be weird.
Yeah. Well, and do you know what your name means?
Well, that's great. And before the podcast, like I was saying, I felt like my name was totally original, uh, right? And so the background of my name is my mom and dad had the idea of taking my two grandfathers' names, Jerry and Donald, and putting them together. So Jerdon, literally Jerry and Donald.
That's cool.
And, after doing more research before coming on the podcast, um, I found out that actually is a Scottish name that
Okay.
has, it's been a legitimate name since I think the research was saying the year 1014 was its first
Okay.
um, I don't know, occurrence or whatever you'd call it.
Hmm. Nice. I didn't find that. I actually found that it was a French name.
Yeah, they were saying that it was deriving from Jardín, like in Spanish, Nicaragua, it's a Jardín, or in all the
Ah,
Latin languages, Jardín, Jardin.
okay. Yeah.
So that's, yeah, it says it was also coming from French in the
Okay.
Latin version of
Yeah.
garden.
And it means garden.
It means like a caretaker of a garden,
Yeah. Interesting.
right? Isn't that so funny? And when I was younger, I never would have thought I was going to be a farmer or somebody that's taking care of a garden. And
Lo and
yeah, it's
behold,
something
you are now.
here I am. And I think the thing that pushed me away from it was I was telling you on email, oh, in high school you do the job. What do they call it? Like the job placement tests. And everybody's getting, I'm in class taking the test, and everybody's, oh, I could be a dozen things, 15 things. People are getting these big lists.
Hmm.
And my results were a landscape architect or a studio light technician. And I was like, neither of those things interest me.
Really?
Um,
Interesting.
right. So a little self-fulfilling prophecy with my name. And I guess ironically, this job placement test was more accurate
Yeah.
maybe than I thought. And so here I am, 20 years after high school, actually
Wow.
taking care of a garden, literally.
That's really cool. That kind of gives me chills. So cool. I love it. Well, and so I take it you like the meaning?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, also another thing when you Google my name is you'll see that there's a tree frog that everybody thought was extinct and it came back to life.
Oh,
And so, yeah, I think the meaning of my name, ironically, is really fitting now.
yeah.
And on my mom's side, her maiden name is Snodgrass, which has a very similar meaning as my first name. So like the caretaker of grass.
Wow.
So a lot of these sort of synchronicities have been popping up for me lately, which is
Yeah.
just so ironic, right? And then getting ready for this podcast and seeing that irony as well is just like you can't make that stuff up.
Yeah. No, I know. I was excited that you were engaged and kind of, interested in doing the podcast. So I was like, all right, let's do it.
I think after Kiyoshi, I think I was secretly hoping that you wanted me on your podcast. And so I think it's just the universe lining up.
Yeah, that's too funny. Well, and I know that you already mentioned how your parents chose your first name. It was a part of your family, like taking pieces from your grandfather's names. But is there anything else that you want to add to that?
I mean, I think through my life, having this unique name for me has been really interesting because both of them I felt like had a big influence in my life. And yeah, so
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. And thinking when you back to like when you were younger, did you ever have the thought cross your mind of, oh, I wish I had a different name?
ironically, I never had that thought. I think I always loved having my name, and I always looked forward to that very first day of class.
Oh,
I think it was a mixture of nervousness, but also a little bit of excitement
yeah.
about, you know, how how's everybody going to say my name? How's the teacher going to say my name?
Hmm.
Right. And, as I've met people throughout my life, I used to always try to be really insistent on explaining the way I say my name.
Hmm.
But then after a while, I just have sort of let people say it naturally, however it rolls off their tongue.
Yeah.
And I don't correct them anymore because sometimes I love the weird way, the weird ways people pronounce my name. Um, like particularly, I feel like people from the East Coast always say Jerdon. I don't know
Jordan.
where you get jur out of jer, but I love it.
Mm, okay.
And so, or if I'm talking to people, they'll sometimes say like, "Oh, is that a French name? Are you an artist?" And so sometimes I just play into that, like, "Yeah, I'm definitely French." But yeah, if it has a little bit of a history in France, I guess it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of. Your name is French.
I really
Nice.
should be getting into some art, I guess,
Yeah.
because
Well, it's, the earth is your canvas.
true, it's very true.
Yeah. And so have you ever wanted to change your name, or it seems like you're pretty confident in having your name and owning it?
Yeah, I own it. I've never really felt the need to change it. I've never had that thought cross my mind, like since I've been an adult. Oh, I can go to the court and change my name.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my name suits me really well. I've always been a little bit different. I'm pretty short, and so I got kind of a unique name. I'm short, so it's really let me see the world. I feel like in a different view and just be a little bit odd
Yeah.
and peculiar, but not in a bad way, but just in a way that helps me maybe speak my truth a little bit more clear to
Yeah.
other people, and also I feel like maybe be a little more observant of other people
Yeah.
and not have to follow the same script. And so yeah, I feel like my name has really allowed me to be comfortable being different and embrace being different, even though sometimes we all want to be the same and we want to fit in.
Hmm.
Yeah, I felt lucky to have kind of a weird name in that regard. So it's helped me become more of an outspoken person.
I love that. That's really refreshing because I kind of took the opposite point of view with my name in terms of like the first day of school being like, oh, here we go. Like I'm dreading this and like hating my name for such a long time. And then as I have, become older and really have learned more about myself, I love my name now. I love the meaning of my name. So that
Yeah, what was some of the weird names you got in school growing up?
yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. They just didn't really know what to do with it because they had never seen those letters in that order, even though it's like pretty similar to Jamie, like which they would try to call me Jamie. So like, nope,
Right?
not my
You're
name.
like, there's an A in there, guys. Come on.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's really refreshing. I like that you have that positive take on it.
Thanks. And people that aren't comfortable saying my name will usually just give me a nickname like Jay
Yeah.
or J Dog
Yeah.
or something like that. And so also I'm okay with that as well. If it's like really too complicated to say,
Hmm.
you just want to call me Jay,
Yeah.
that's fine. And my middle name is James and my last name is Johnston. So I have three J's in my name as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
So J cubed is also another random nickname I've gotten through my life, or J squared.
Yeah.
So
Is there, if you had to change your first name, is there a name that you really like that you would change it to?
yeah, I have always had an alternative name if I had to have a name. And I've always liked the name Clay for some reason. I don't know why. But I remember being a
Okay.
kid, playing Game Boy Color when it first came out,
Yeah.
playing Pokemon and making the person on there be named Clay. As well
Interesting.
as, yeah, interesting. And eventually ended up meeting a Clay in real life. And that dude's so epic and cool. Helped me so much in my career. And so after I met that guy, shout out Clay, you know who you are. Uh, yeah, I just really fell in love with that name because it's also unique. I felt like I'd never heard or not very often heard people with the name Clay, right? And I enjoy that quality of myself. And so even if I had to change
Yeah.
my name, I would change it to something that wasn't John.
Yeah.
Or
Well, it's very similar to like the earth and gardening and it means clay worker.
it really is. You know what's so funny also is like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I ended up getting a community garden plot and I got kicked out because I
Oh,
was such a
really?
terrible gardener at the
Oh.
time. And you never would have expected that I would have ended up owning a farm, but sort of through that journey of learning how to plant and take care of a plant, it's been a really good therapy for me to help me slow down because I've got a good case of ADD, which isn't clinically diagnosable anymore.
Hmm.
I don't come with a lot of hyperactivity, like, shaking in my chair
Yeah.
or needing to be crazy 24/7, but I have a very curious mind. And it's not that it's like distracted, it's just it moves quicker, I feel like, than a lot of people around me. Or I always joke I have a dual core brain where I kind of have two thoughts going on simultaneously.
Hmm. That's cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. And I'm just curious. So, like, what kind of emotions do you feel when somebody mispronounces your name?
Let's see here. I mean, a lot of the time it's just joy, and I kind of get a giggle out of it.
Yeah.
Um, when I was younger, I guess, like very early in elementary, it would maybe be annoying to me. But
Okay.
definitely as I've gotten older, and it's kind of a running joke that people that know me like they're like just as anxious to hear somebody say my name and mispronounce it as I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get a lot of joy out of it now, and or like when I'm feeling lazy and I'm not wanting to explain myself, sometimes if I'm ordering pizza or something, I'll just say, "Oh, I'll just say I'm Jerry."
Yeah.
Right? That's been a newer thing, just because I'm not like because a lot of times people will actually care enough to slow down and be like, "Well, how do I spell that? I
Hmm.
haven't heard that. That's unique. How do I spell that?" And if I'm in a hurry, now I'm just sort of like, just put Jerry.
Hmm.
It still feels like it's my name halfway.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Okay. When the second to last question, this is one of my favorites. So, do you think that the meaning, like garden, do you think that that has any relevance on the way that you act or the way that you see the world around you? And I'll add to this question. I looked up the meaning, like the symbolism of the word garden, and
mhm,
it symbolizes growth, renewal, and creation. So, do you think that growth, renewal, and creation, you have that kind of mindset, or you see the world in that way at all?
100%. Whether it's been like as a kid, always wanting to make something new, or through my career, I've always been in a similar role like you, where I've been involved in the creation of new projects, new departments. Now I focus on helping companies with new products or sort of new processes they need to develop. And more than that, I feel like sort of the process of witnessing growth is something that when I was younger felt really exciting. And now that I'm getting older, I've really noticed sort of the natural progression of growth and how you don't always have to apply so much effort and force to let nature take its course, and everything's going to end up good in the end. Like one of my favorite quotes is, nature never hurries, yet everything is accomplished.
Hmm, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's true of gardening, whether you're growing cash crops, which takes a lot of patience. Like, for example, like avocados take 5 years to grow before they give you the first avocado,
Wow.
right? So it's super slow. Or even, gardening in your backyard with a tomato, right? You started early, like I did 2 years ago. We started our season in January, which is way too early, but you know, you you get to watch this natural process of growth, the flowering, the fruit, and maybe you get the fruit or maybe you don't, depending on your luck. and then you get to sort of witness something end and sort of that the beautiful nature of something ending as well and
Hmm.
not being perpetually ongoing. And so, yeah, I've been really grateful for my name. And I've got this book that my grandpa gave me because all my family's worked in Boeing. Not me yet. Maybe I will one day. But, just a photo book with all the different airplanes and missiles and vehicles that Boeing has made and a family lineage of all my family
Oh, wow.
that worked on those projects. And the one thing that made me realize is like sometimes in that book, it takes them 10 years to get something ready to be made
Wow.
before they start making it. And so that's been uh, a great context for me, like seeing just sometimes how long a project or an idea can take to really come to fruition
Yeah.
and to learn how to slow down. And that's been, for me, like I said, I have sort of that attention deficit disorder and my brain moves quickly. And so that's been a really painful lesson in my life, having to slow down. And still my tendency, or I guess my default habit, is to hurry things along because I want results.
Yeah. I'm the
And
same way. So I understand what you're saying. Totally
yeah,
this.
I will burn myself in that process. And so really learning to take a step back and let things be is something I'm always working on, and I'm not perfect at it yet,
Yeah.
and maybe never will be perfect at it. Um, but yeah, I think
You're aware of it though, so that's good.
yeah, I'm actually a lot more aware of it because of you. So thank you for that. And it's been
Yeah.
a rapid growth journey already, just getting ready for this podcast.
Oh, wow. That's cool. That's really
Well
neat.
deserved.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, my last question.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. So when I first started my podcast, I looked up what is the best-selling book of all time. Happens to be the Bible. And in the Bible, there's quite a few people who it mentions that their names were changed. For example, Sarai was changed to Sarah, and Abram was changed to Abraham, Saul was changed to Paul. Just kind of curious, like, what do you think the significance is of that name being changed in terms of like just mentioning it in the book?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess for me, when I take a look at that in the context of the Bible and thinking about how this book has moved from one place to another and it's been adopted by different countries with different languages. Just like, for example, my name with the French meaning of it is spelled kind of like Jardine, but the English version is spelled with a J, an E, an R, D, an O, and an N. Maybe something about names are universal, but the way that we write the name kind of fits the place in which the name lives. And so, just like how you pronounce Sarah in one part of the world is maybe a little bit different than the other, just because of natural pronunciation. So, perhaps changing the name, the written name, is a way to make that name grounded in the place that it is.
Hmm, cool. I like that.
Thanks.
Very nice. All right. Well, those are all my questions. Did you have any questions for me?
Hmm. Well, I mean, I guess I would be curious about through this journey you've been on with researching names. What have been some areas that have helped you in your work life and personal life going through this process and interviewing people?
Yeah. Hmm. I like that question. I think it has helped me expand out of my comfort zone, like meeting strangers and just, in terms of learning about different people in different areas of the world and their viewpoints. It's helped me be more open minded. And I feel like I've always been, in general, like an open minded person, but it's helped me expand my paradigm, if you will, even more. So it's been refreshing, and it motivates me each time that I speak to you and anybody that I've spoken to in the past. It makes me want to keep doing it because it's exciting to learn more about like each person's perspective. So
Absolutely. Do you think that at some point through all of these interviews, it's going to help you write a book?
yes,
Right.
definitely. I actually just started.
Oh, you did?
Yes. I
Oh,
have like an outline, and I would love to. My goal is by the end of this next year. So by the end of 2026, I want to have my book finished. So yeah.
awesome. I love it. So when you're interviewing all of these people with different names or odd names, I would say, what is there a similarity you're finding between all of us?
Yeah, I am. And it's neat because I'm part like I do photography also as like a side hobby along with my podcast. And then obviously I have my day job as a product owner. So I'm like kind of like an IT techie nerd in the HR world, sort of. But I love in terms of just analyzing the data and putting it all into, I have pretty much all of my episodes in a spreadsheet with like the name, the gender, their answers to all the questions. And I always do, not sure if you've seen this, but if you scroll through all the episodes, I have at the end of each season, which each season comprises of around 25 people. And so I wanted to have 4 seasons for my first 100 set of people. And I have found that like the majority, like 80, 85% of the people do not know what the meaning of their name is, which is like mind boggling.
Okay.
And about the same amount do believe that there is some kind of influence in the way that they see the world around them from the meaning of their name. And
Very
then
interesting.
also, like, if the person has quote unquote a unique name, which I guess that's, that's a matter of perspective, I think. But
Sure.
I guess from an American perspective, if it is a unique name, I feel as though those people that I've talked to, and I only interview people who I know are like have experienced life in a significant way. So I would say like the youngest person I've ever interviewed was like 29, I think,
Okay.
28. I think I could be wrong, but most of them
Sure.
are in their 30s, if not like way older. And I feel as though the people with the unique names, they come across as more confident in who they are. And because they've had to kind of get through the the mess and the grit of people mispronouncing their name and not um, saying it correctly and not respecting them in that way. And whether you think it's respectful or disrespectful, like if you don't pronounce somebody's name correctly, it's a part of you, no matter how you look at it. And so I think that I tend to gravitate towards the people who have the unique names because they just seem a little bit more emotionally intelligent. So,
Sure. I mean, I think it's a really natural human response to want to fit in.
yeah,
And
that's true.
so to be forced to be different from the beginning
Yes.
just helps you get comfortable with standing out. And, I'm sure people with unique names sometimes want to just fit in like everybody else. So it's not awkward on the first day of school
Yeah.
or maybe with somebody, but that's just not their lot in life, I guess.
Yeah.
So, um, so would you say there's also, so for the folks with regular names, then you've experienced also, I don't know, I guess some stereotypes come true with people with regular names, like
Or
maybe
more
they're also,
common.
yeah, like more common names, like in the United States. Like, do they have a different take on their name, or do they feel like their name has influenced their life the same as somebody with a less common name, or
I
how do their names influence them?
Yeah. I mean, the majority of the people that I've talked to have said that their name influences the way that they see the world around them. So whether it be common or not common, I find that to be interesting too. And
Yeah.
I do think that like I need to, my analysis isn't quite fair because there are so many different names, and it would be more interesting to like interview 100 people named Jessica or 100 people named Jerdon.
Yeah.
Like so that you can have like a true like analytical, I don't know, like observation on the same name, but then like, how it varies person to person.
There's that analytical mindset coming out in you, wanting
Yeah.
to just document it and see if there's some sort of, yeah, some sort of pattern.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, I'm sure I could ask you questions forever because this has been fun, but I won't ask you anymore. I think I'll let you off the hook for tonight.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you so much for letting me be on, and this was really fun. And I wish you a lot of success in your podcasts and in your book.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.